Hello everyone. Last time we code a straightforward programs. Now let's make our programs smarter. So our previous program can solve but can't decide for itself. Now let's add more codes to make our program decide for itself. We will use first the if statement. In this time of pandemic, checking is really important. Our program will not accept non-positive. So, it checks if the number entered by the user is a negative or a zero. If so, it will notify the user and the program will terminate. If the number is positive, then it will proceed to the next if statement, which tells the user if the number is divisible by 5. Okay, there's the code. So in line number 10 to 12, always not to forget the variable definition. So as its value, 4 inputs only. Okay? Then 14 to 19, it will terminate the program if the number entered is non-positive. That's why there's the return 0. So if the num is less than or equal to 0, it will print something and will return 0, which terminates the program. So in 15, if statement. So if num is non-positive, it will execute the codes inside. 16 to 17, it will notify the user the number is non-positive, and 18, it will terminate the program. In line number 21 to 24, this tells the user if the number is divisible by 5. This will be executed if the number is positive. Why? What do you think? So just answer it on the FB group. Don't forget that one, ah. Then in line number 22, it is an if statement. If the remainder is 0, when num is divided by 5, it will execute the code inside. So why do we need the remainder to be equal to 0? Okay, answer that one also on the FB group. Thank you. Okay. Then in line number 23, tells the user that the number entered is divisible by 5. Okay. So try this code to see it for yourself. Then let's go to the if else statement. Okay, we can also make our program to choose between two options. So this program tells the user whether the number is odd or even. So note, this is a new program, so don't mind the line number. Don't forget to ask the user about the value of the num variable, the num. Okay, let's go to line number 27 and 28. It tells the user if the number entered is even. So in line number 27, it is an if statement. If the remainder is 0 when divided by 2, it will execute the code inside of it. In line number 28, it tells the user that the number is even. Then on the line number 29 to 30, it tells the user if the number is odd. So in line number 29, it is an else statement. So the remainder is not 0 when the num is divided by 2. Why is it? Okay? It will execute the code inside of the else. Then the conditional expression num modulo 2 equals 1 is also not needed here to know that it is odd. Why do you think? So please answer the why in the FB group. Then in line number 30, it tells the user that the number is odd. Okay? Also, try this code to see for yourself. Then let's go to the if dot 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 else if dot 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 else. This uses the dot 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 instead of dash because you can have one or more else if. Okay? So let's make the program smarter again than the previous program. Not only that, it checks whether the input is valid, it also has several options. So this program tells whether a number is either an even number or divisible by 5 or both or none of the previous options. Okay, just a note, this is a new program again, so don't mind the line number. Don't forget to ask the user for the value of the num. Of course, don't forget your main and return 0 and close curly brace. So I will not repeat this note on the future examples. Okay? So in line number 33 to 34, this tells the user if num, or the number entered, is even and divisible by 5. So all even numbers, which is divisible by 2, that are also divisible by 5, are always divisible by 10. Okay? So in line number 33, that's the if statement. So if the remainder is 0, when num is divided by 10, then it will execute the code inside of it. And line number 34, it tells the user that the number is an even number and divisible by 5. Okay? In line number 35 to 36, this tells the user if the num divisible by 5 but not an even number. Why do you think it is not an even number? Okay? Then, else if statement in line number 35, if the remainder is 0 when num is divided by 5, and the if statement is false, it will execute the code inside. Then in line 36 tells the user that number is divisible by 5 but not even number. In line number 37 to 38, this tells the user if num is an even number but not divisible by 5. It is the opposite. Why do you think it is? Okay? In line number 37, the else if statement. If the remainder is 0 when num is divided by 2 and the previous if and else if statements are false, it will execute the code inside. In line number 38, it tells the user that the number is divisible by 5 but not an even number. And in line number 39 to 40, this tells the user if num is not an even number and not divisible by 5. The else statement, if the previous if and the else if statements are all false, it will execute the code inside. The number 40 tells whether the user that the number is not divisible by 5 and not an even number. Why is it not divisible by 5 and not an even number? Also, try this code to see it for yourself. Okay? Then let's go to the nested if statement. So let's try another example of an if else if else statement. But this time, let's have a nested if. So there's an if else statement in one of the else if statement. So let's discuss our smartest program in this lesson. This program is a basic calculator. It has 4 basic operations and catches the user input for 4 choices. This program can also catch division by 0. Okay? So, in line number 44 to 52, these are variable definitions. It asks the user to input the 2 operands and the operator option. In 54 to 76, this is the calculation based on the user inputs. In 54 to 56, it performs addition. So in 54, this is the if statement. If the option of the operator is 1, it will execute this code inside. In 55 to 56, it calculates the sum of num1 and num2, then assign it to the result variable, and it prints the result. In 57 to 59, it performs subtraction. 57, it is an else statement, and it will execute the code inside if the option is 2. In 58 to 59, it will calculate and assign the difference of num1 and num2 to the result variable, and it will print the result. In 60 to 62, it is for multiplication. In line 60, it is an else if statement that will execute the code inside if the option is 3. In 61 to 62, it will calculate and assign the product of num1 and num2 to the result variable, and it will also print the result. Then in 63 to 71, it performs division. It also catches the division by 0. So in 63, it is an else if statement, and it will perform the code inside if the option is 4. So if you notice, there's another if else statement inside of it. So that's why we call it a nested if, because inside an else if, there's an if else. Okay, let's go to 64 to 66. So it performs the division without worrying of division by 0. Why is it? Because in line 64, this is an if statement, and if the num2 is not 0, it will execute the code inside of it. So the second number is not 0. And in 65 to 66, it calculates and assigns the quotient of num1 and num2 to result and prints the result. While in line number 67 to 70, this terminates the program if a division of 0 occurs. In 67, this is an else statement, therefore num2 is 0. Why? Okay, it will execute the code inside. Then 68 to 69, it will notify the user that the division by 0 occurs and will terminate the program. Then line number 70, it will exit that and terminate the program. Okay. Then if there's no exit or termination of the program, in line number 72, it will terminate again the program if the choice is not from 1 to 4, so it is an invalid choice. So it will go to the else statement in the line 72. So if the operator option is not from 1 to 4, it will execute the code inside, and 73 to 74, it will notify the user that the choice is invalid and will terminate the program. And in the line number 75, it is an exit code to terminate the program. Then please tell the group your answer to why again. So also try this code to see it for yourself, and there's an available code in the code pack. So just look at it. Okay? Now it is time for our laboratory number 2. Are you ready? You can ask always questions if you're confused. Okay? Thank you and goodbye. Good luck also.